During the construction of the world's deepest diving pool in Dubai, when a 45-meter tunnel was dug into the ground, the engineering team faced an unusual problem. They discovered that in Poland, a diving pool named Deep Spot had already opened with the same depth of 45 meters. Now, obviously, if Dubai wanted the world record for the deepest pool, they would need to increase the depth from 45 meters to 60 meters. But while this sounded simple, in reality it was extremely difficult. Experts calculated that if the pool was deepened to 60 meters, the pressure of the groundwater could easily push it upward. This is exactly like throwing a filled water bottle into a pond. The buoyant force from the water pushes the bottle upward, making it float near the surface. In the same way, the entire pool structure could rise from the ground at any moment. At this stage of construction, the dream of building the world's deepest pool in Dubai seemed to be collapsing. But then, one idea changed everything. When it comes to setting world records, the very first name that comes to mind is Dubai. With 425 Guinness World Records, Dubai remains number one in the entire Middle East, and it seems the city's rulers are unwilling to lose that position at any cost. One more addition to this library of records came upon the request of Dubai's crown prince, Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Today, the world knows this project as Deep Dive Dubai. Deep Dive Dubai is not just a pool, it's a strange and fascinating world of its own. At 197 feet, 60 meters deep, it is the world's deepest pool, containing 14 million liters of water, as much as 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools, or the amount 90,000 people would use in one day. The pool is designed with the theme of a sunken city, offering divers an experience previously unimaginable. To keep the water clean, NASA helped design a system that filters all 14 million liters every 6 hours. Whether the outside temperature is 50 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius, the pool water is constantly maintained at 30 degrees Celsius for diver comfort. But more than its features, we are interested in its construction techniques, because the engineering community believes this pool is nothing short of an engineering miracle. The first challenge. Crown Prince Sheikh Hamdan wanted a design that could reflect Dubai's cultural values. Before oil and tourism, Dubai's economy heavily depended on pearl diving. Professional divers would jump into the open sea without scuba gear, searching for seashells and extracting pearls to sell. With this idea in mind, the deep dive structure was shaped like a giant seashell, something that from a distance would look like an open shell by the sea. The real challenge was how to build the deepest diving pool in the world inside it. Architects and engineers from around the world were invited to suggest realistic ideas. The simplest option was to build a 45-meter tall structure above ground and fill it with water. But there was a problem. To qualify as the world's deepest pool, it had to be built underground, not above ground. Also, Dubai's extreme heat would affect the atmosphere of an above-ground pool. Sheikh Hamdan wanted not only a striking design, but also unmatched depth. So the decision was made. The world's deepest diving pool would be built underground. A vertical shaft was to be dug 65 feet wide and 147 feet deep. Not only did they have to dig this shaft, but they also needed to construct protective walls around it to prevent collapse. These walls are known in engineering as a diaphragm wall. A special excavator was brought in for this task. With it, they dug pillar-wide trenches up to 147 feet deep, into which they placed steel cages and filled them with concrete. Repeating this process in small sections, they completed the diaphragm wall, a process that alone took over 2 months. Excavation and groundwater problem. Next, the excavation began, planned in 5-meter steps down to 45 meters. But after digging just 8 meters, groundwater started leaking in. Because the diaphragm wall was built in chunks, small gaps existed, and water began seeping through into the shaft. Without managing the groundwater, excavation was impossible. So, pumps were installed to continuously remove water, while excavation continued side by side. This process went on for 2 years, with pumps running constantly. A total of 45,000 tons of soil, sand, and rocks were removed. But when the pumps were turned off, water refilled the tunnel. This made it necessary to waterproof the diaphragm wall. In total, diaphragm wall construction, excavation, and waterproofing took over 3 years. A new problem: Poland's deep spot pool. By this time, construction was already running late. Then came shocking news. In Warsaw, Poland, a pool called Deep Spot had opened with a depth of 45 meters, the same as Dubai's. The entire project team was devastated because their years of work were intended to break a record. When Sheikh Hamdan learned this, he demanded that the pool's depth be extended to secure the world record. But there was a problem. Since groundwater was present from 8 meters downward, all the way to 45 meters, the buoyant force would push upward on the structure. The engineers had originally calculated buoyancy to balance against 45 meters of water inside the pool. Increasing the depth by 15 more meters would greatly increase buoyancy, and there was a real risk the entire pool could be pushed out of the ground. Construction was halted. The solution: after much research, a solution was found. The tunnel would be extended by 15 more meters, but with a narrower diameter, about half the size of the first 45 meters. This reduced the surface area exposed to buoyant force. Secondly, they used an under-reaming base, a foundation technique where anchor-like structures are embedded deep into the ground. The depth was successfully extended to 60 meters, making the project eligible once again for the Guinness World Record. Filling the pool with water. But challenges still remained. The 60-meter shaft couldn't be left empty for long because, without water to balance buoyancy, the structure could still be pushed upward. They now had to fill it with 14 million liters of water. The problem: Dubai's water authority could supply only limited amounts. At that rate, it would take 3 months to fill. To meet deadlines, more than 100 water tankers were brought in alongside the official supply. Even then, it took 1 full month to fill the pool. Before filling, the sunken city theme was built inside. After filling, new problems arose. Some materials began rusting, while other items started floating. Finally, in 2021, Deep Dive Dubai was opened for special guests, and in 2022, it opened to the public. The total cost of the project has not been revealed, as the Dubai government considers it priceless. So, what do you think about this project? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and share this video.